welcome to the stage, Mike Carrion.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the NBA Bit. It's cold as hell, man. It's cold as hell. I don't know what else to tell you. It's it's hard to even talk about basketball, how cold it is. And then people in colder climates are going to be like, how dare you? It's not that cold. Imagine it being this cold. No, it's cold. It's cold. Universally speaking, it's ice cold right now. But I hope everybody's doing well and staying warm. We got a fun one today. We're going to talk about last night's action, talk about some panic attacks that some organizations are having. We'll jump into tonight's slate, maybe even jump into a dog bowl or two, see if we can qualify live for Los Angeles for the Dog Bowl Live Finals. See what we can do here. Snoopaloop in the chat. Happy National Squirrel Day. Huge, dude, huge. We get the comment here. Congrats on your daily dub yesterday in the So Rare Streets. Speaking of So Rare Streets, we will be back live before lock on Friday. Also, there's a chance tomorrow's NBA Bit will be at a new time, so stay tuned for that. There's a chance I'm shooting a thing. I'm not sure yet, though. We'll see. We'll find out soon. Yeah, Friday, the high is -6 and low of -17. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to get worse before it gets better. Awesome. Let's just go. Let's just talk some hoops. Let's actually start with the Bing Bong Boys. Man, the Knicks, yesterday, I think the internet just took turns trying to field Karl Anthony Towns trade rumors. There was reports that came out yesterday. I don't know if we did a show after the Knicks Warriors game, but I totally forgot about this, that Draymond did a true Draymond move, right? Where he did one of those flagranty fouls where it seemed like he tried to trip, maybe touch Karl Anthony Towns in the nether regions. It was unclear what he was doing. Gets called for a flagrant, and which honestly, I don't know how he didn't get thrown out of the game for that, because it seemed like it was not a basketball play. But after the game, he hugs Mike Brown, the coach of the Knicks, at least for now. And then, so now reports come at this. So I totally forgot about this, and I didn't pay attention to him hugging Mike Brown. I didn't think that was a big deal. And then reports come out that after their most recent L, because the Knicks are now 2-9 in their last 11 games, after their most recent L, they had a players-only meeting. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed. We made it till January 21st. We are officially past the halfway point of the season. I think this is the first players-only meeting of the season. Is this the first one? I feel like the Kings might have had one, but do the Kings count? Great question. Do the Kings count? So they had players-only meeting, some cat rumors. I listened to a little bit of Bill Simmons this morning when I was shivering taking the dog outside. I don't think the Knicks actually have a move that they can make right now. I don't think Cat's trade value is high enough. I don't think they can do anything. But, man, the vibes are bad in New York. They play Brooklyn tonight. The Battle of New York. I imagine they, right the ship a little bit, start collecting some W's. I mean, they're still, fine in the East, right? They're still 25-18. They're 7 games over 500. So I don't think it's like full doom and gloom. But we talked about it a little bit yesterday, just this idea of expectations heading into a season and how when you fall, it hurts a little bit more because you're coming from a higher place. So that's just gravity. Let's get into last night's stuff, though, and we can talk about the Knicks a little bit more when we get into tonight's slate. But let's start with the Rockets and the Spurs. This is probably one of the more competitive games. Houston, a much-needed, big W. I feel like Houston, they're 11 games over 500, but they haven't seemed awesome. You know what I was thinking about yesterday was, remember when Fred VanVleet got hurt and everybody was like, actually, this is pretty good. This is pretty good for Houston. I think Kevin O'Connor was somebody who, a lot of people did this, but Kevin O'Connor's the one that sticks out. This is actually pretty good for Houston's ceiling. I think, Fred VanVleet being out of the equation actually unlocks some opportunity. It elevates the potential ceiling of the Houston Rockets. I don't think that's true. I think they could. I think they'd really like to have Fred VanVleet. But last night, it was KD and the boys. KD had 18, 4, and 7 in this W. Şengün really took it to Wemby and to into the Spurs front court. Look at this game from the Goon. Only took 13 field goal attempts, had 20 points, 13 boards, 9 dimes, and a couple of blocks. Amen Thompson and KD. I guess it's not surprising for Amen Thompson to be playing 39 minutes a game, but man, KD playing 39 minutes a game is rough. And he's been doing this night in and night out. KD has like quietly been hooping, or maybe not quietly. Maybe he's been using burners. We got paid in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, but good win for Houston here. They take one from the Spurs, who are ahead of them in the standings. Spurs have played far more games than the Rockets looking at this. Amen had a double-double, 16, 10, and 6. They did get Tari Eason back. We should listen. I was talking. I probably picked the wrong game to talk about Fred VanVleet because Reed Sheppard did finally play 29 minutes, having 21 points. We saw his minutes get dwarfed. Shout out short people in the last couple of weeks. Right? There was one. Aaron Holiday had moved ahead of him in the rotation. Then it was J.D. Davison. I don't know if Ime was teaching him some tough love. But anyways, Reed Sheppard back in there. They also, I mentioned they got Tari Eason back. Steven Adams, right? He got hurt in that last game. He's going to miss a couple of games is my guess, but good win for them. Wemby here, they were on the back-to-back, right? But Wemby did play 30 minutes, which is good to see, right? Because he, it seemed like they had been monitoring him a little bit. He played 26 the night before against Utah and made like quick work of the Jazz. But last night, 14 and 10. This is the best anybody's done against Wemby, right? You see he has a 14 and 10 line. You assume Wemby probably only played 22 minutes, right? No, wrong. He played 30 minutes, 5 for 21 and an 0 for 7 from 3. Honestly, the Champagny bros, Julian Champagny last night, he led the way. He had 27 points, 8 for 16 from 3. Those are Jabari Smith Jr. numbers. And then you had Fox and Castle down there. But good win for Houston. Spurs looked a little tired in this one. Wouldn't freak out too much. Okay, can we just talk about last night a little bit here? So the Utah Jazz play the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Utah Jazz are a terrorist organization. Yusuf Nurkic, right, doesn't get ruled out for all last week, but then just doesn't play basketball. Just hangs out, does not play basketball. Then he comes back into the rotation yesterday, and they're like, you know what? Will Hardy's like, Yusuf, the Bosnian beast, you can play 26 minutes, okay? But that's it. And then, so now, on the back end of a back-to-back, surely Yusuf's going to be a bit limited, right? Let's look at this Yusuf line in the Jazz win over the Timberwolves. 31 minutes, 16 points, 18 rebounds, 10 dimes, a steal, and a block. Rudy, where are you at, bro? Where are you at, Rudy? I thought this was the defensive juggernaut, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the interior defense. What's going on? How can Yusuf do that to you? He just buried me last night in Underdog. Absolutely buried me. And honestly, I'll say it. I think if you drafted Yusuf Nurkic, you're bad at this game. I think you are. You're just playing Bosnian roulette with that shit. Let's Keyonte though. Let's give my boy Keyonte a little love, okay? Let's put a little positivity into this show. Keyonte George, man. 15 for 28 from the field. 43 points. 43 points. I love Keyonte, man. We need a Keyonte jersey. We need a Keyonte drop. We need more Keyonte in our lives. I love this guy. This team's been fun. Ace Bailey, too, little 20-point game from him. Collier gave him 18 and 10 off the bench. Kyle Phillip, he had 11 and 8 off the bench as well. I'm telling you, man, if Utah wasn't allowed to tank and they had to try, I think they're a play-in team. I think if you're running out Nurk, Lowry, Keyonte, Ace Bailey, Svi, I don't know. I think this is a fun team, man. I think this is a really fun team. Jazz get this W. Timberwolves just looked a little sleepy. I think they slept on him a little bit. Ant-Man continues to cook. 11 for 12 from the line. Knocked down 5 triples. He had 38 and 8. I talked about Rudy. Rudy was 6 stocks, which is pretty fun. He had a double-double, 11 and 10. Jaden McDaniels, 18, 6 and 6. I feel like he did most of that damage in the first quarter. We got to start betting Jaden McDaniels' first quarter overs. Wow, Boston base, rich Boston base. It's not even the first of the month. Thank you for doing that. Jaden McDaniels, I feel like every single slate goes nuts in the first quarter, and then I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to retire early. And then Jaden McDaniels retires early. That's what ends up happening. But Minnesota drops to 27 and 17. Utah picks up their 15th win. Them winning this game, you have to believe everybody's going to rest their next game because they hate getting W's. They hate getting W's. The Knicks should trade Cat for Nurk. Straight up. The Bosnian Beast. Shout out, Alan. Good to see you in the chat, man. Anyways, Minnesota won. Yeah, 27-17. Jazz 15-29. Let's go. I stayed up late last night. I stayed up late watching this game, Lakers and Nuggets, and this honestly, the Denver Nuggets fell asleep. They fell asleep in the fourth quarter, and that's why they lost the game, because they had this one. They held their second half, man. The Lakers defense showed up. They started throwing 2 and 3 guys at Jamal Murray, and the offense, they just turned the faucet off. Look at this stuff, right? First quarter, 37 points. Second quarter, 34 points. And then they score a total of 36 points in the second half. That's, nasty business. If you look at it, right, Jamal Murray finished the game with 28 and 11. I'm pretty sure he had 24 points at halftime. I don't have it in front of me, but it's like 22 or 24. The Lakers really switched up the defensive assignments there. Luka was great, 38-point triple-double. He had 38, 13, and 10, 3 for 9 from 3. Only 3 turnovers in this one. Had 2 steals. LeBron James, 19, 9, and 8, however, had 6 turnovers, which nuked some of his upside. Ayton did nothing. Ayton played 15 minutes. Just he giveth and he taketh away, DeAndre Ayton, right? It was honestly a great adjustment I agree with you, man, because it was really impressive what they were doing. I think I started tuning in. There's probably like 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and maybe Jamal wasn't in. And I remember Jamal checked into the game, and I was like, wow. Every time, they were blitzing him the second he got across half court, and then the other guys just weren't making plays. They were missing some open shots, but they weren't. And I actually thought their defense was fast. Like they were, because they would like swing over to Gordon, and they'd have a good closeout on Gordon, so Gordon couldn't take the 3. And then all of a sudden, it's back in Jalen Pickett's hands or Tim Hardaway Jr.'s hands, and that's not going to get it done. So this was a really good win for the Lakers. I know Denver is shorthanded, but still, Denver at home is a really tough team. And again, to give up 71 points in the first half and then hold them to 36 in the second half, really good, much-needed win there for the Lakers, who are 26-16. And even though they're 10 games over 500, they've been playing some pretty bad basketball lately. So it was good to see them make those adjustments. And honestly, the adjustment was less DeAndre Ayton. Man, dominating, no thank you. All right, let's go to the Suns and the Sixers. This was the early tip last night. So Philly, as advertised, there was no Joel Embiid in this one. Was kind of surprised to see no Paul George. I thought we were gonna watch a PG-13 movie. I thought Paul George was coming in because he did not. You had Maxey, VJ, Oubre, Drum Dog Millionaire, and Dominic Barlow as the starters. I thought Kelly Oubre was going to make me rich last night. He ended up being my I had a lot of Lowry and a lot of Paul George and then and Josh Giddey too. So I had a lot of swaps last night and ended up swapping to a lot of Kobe White and Kelly Oubre, which ended up being pretty good swaps because I think Kelly Oubre ended up at like 35, 36 fantasy points. Kobe White, who we'll talk about in a second here, got the 41. So I was like, oh, yeah. But instead, I didn't play Yusuf Nurkic like you fish did. But anyways, Suns got this W. Man, Maxey was cold. 7, and not like, whoo, awesome. He was 7 for 25 from the field. Still finished with 20 and 7. He followed up his 8-steal performance with 3 steals. Those are Dyson Daniels numbers. VJ Edgecombe was nice. He had 25 and 7 with a couple steals and a block. Drum Dog in Embiid's stead put up an 8 and 15 line in just 22 minutes. So that was pretty good from him. Didn't get a lot from the bench, though. Bona had 11 and 10, Grimes 12 and 5. But the Suns were just too much. This is a good road win for Phoenix, too, who were on the back end of a back-to-back. I know Brooklyn, it doesn't feel like that counts as a real team. But to beat Brooklyn and then go on the road the next night into Philly, the city of brotherly love, and get a W was pretty solid. Book was decent, 27, 4 and 3. Gillespie had 12 and 4. Those are the only 2 starters in double figures, which was kind of wild, right? You would think Phoenix with 116 points, you'd have more, but it was the bench mob. Jalen Green, welcome back, JG. Played 20 minutes, 4 for 11 from the field. He had 12 and 3. Goodwin gave him 16 and 5. Allen 16, 6 and 5. 12 from Oso Iguodaro. Just a good team win from Phoenix. And shout out Jordan Ott, man. Coach of the year, Jordan Ott. This Phoenix team, No one's scoring 35 a game, right? If anything, if you're just looking statistically, it's not like Booker's blowing you away with his numbers, right? If anything, he's been kind of frustrating from a fantasy perspective, but they seem to be bought in. And it just begs the question, what was going on with KD, Bradley, and Book last year? I saw shout out No Dunks. I feel I feel like I do this once a week now. No Dunks getting these guests have been a lot of fun. But if you missed yesterday's segment, they had Brent Barry on the show, and Brent Barry was talking about Phoenix and working with some of those guys. It was really good. So I highly recommend checking that out. But yeah, just the vibes must have been elite bad, right? For Phoenix to kind of, you would think, downgrade talent-wise on the roster. Like, again, look at these guys getting minutes. Goodwin, Oso, Royce O'Neal. I mean, Royce O'Neal's good. Colin Gillespie. And yet they're out there now 10 games over 500. And then Philly, no Embiid, a different team. When are you getting some quality guests on? Well, I'm waiting for you to show up, Boston-based or Boca-based. All right, let's go to this one. I got to take a huge L here. So the Bulls win by 28, and I guess I took for granted how sleepy the Clippers might be on a back-to-back after playing the Wizards on the road, right? So the line opened yesterday at 3.5. The Bulls are favored by 3.5. And so my broken brain was like, oh, man, that must mean Josh Giddey's returning, right? Either Josh Giddey's returning or maybe James Harden's not playing the back-to-back. But either way, I was like, Ivica Zubac is an absolute smash, right? He's got to be a smash against the interior defense of the Chicago Bulls. Instead, the Bulls just blow them out the water, right? Clippers are up 5 at the end of the first quarter. The Bulls outscore them 45-19 in the second quarter. I mean, it was just over after that. It was 70-49. You can't get outscored by 26 in a quarter, and it was just cookies after that. You couldn't do it. And then the Clips packed it in. Harden at 24, 5, and 6. Zubac's 12 and 11. Man, my Zubac's take was just brutal. But for the Bulls, they continue to start these double bigs here. This is a big lineup. Like Vooch, Bucelis, Okoro, and Jalen Smith alongside Kobe White. Kobe White finally, man, north of 30 minutes, and he just cooked. He was 9 for 16 from the field, knocked down 6 triples, had 27 and 6. Vooch had 19, 8, and 4. Boozy with 3 stocks had 21 and 4. And then Jalen Smith, 1 board shy of a double-double, which my brother texted me about because I guess he took that in his pick'em slip. Chicago, look at this, man. They're almost 500. Are the Bulls back? Trademark Trey Kirby. Are the Bulls back? That's pretty good. That's pretty good for Chicago there. So congrats to the Bulls on that W. Clips dropped this one. Clips still flirting with the play-in action. But good win for them. And then we got 2 games left, some more late action, right? You had Golden State in their first game without Jimmy Bucks, who is officially out for the season. And this starting 5 was Draymond, who they got back. Steph, who only played 25 minutes on the back-to-back, but that's because this game kind of got out of hand. You had Quentin Post over there and Moses Moody. I thought what was pretty interesting about this game was actually still kind of close. It was like a 10-point, 8-point game, something like that. And yet, the Warriors pulled the plug early. Like, Steve Kerr was just kind of like, we're good, man. We don't need to win this game. Actually, we don't need to win this game. Took the starters out early. But Kuminga did play 21 minutes. He took 10 shots, making 7 of them. He had 20 and 5. So maybe we get more Kuminga. I still think Steve Kerr will reach deep into that bag and make sure he doesn't play him a lot. But, yeah, good for Kuminga. But the real story here, honestly, should have made the thumbnail. Shout out Power Duster. Emmanuel Quickly in 34 minutes took 13 shots, making 11 of them. Took 8 threes, making 7 of them. Made all 11 free throws. He had 40 points, 10 dimes, and 2 steals. He was awesome. Scotty had 26, 11, and 7. B.I. had 22, 5, and 4. Raptors keep stacking W's. That's a good road win on the West Coast. Raptors play tonight, too. They're on a back-to-back. I believe they play the Light the Beam Bros. And I saw R.J. Barrett and Colin Murray Boyles. R.J.'s missed a ton of time. He's questionable. It sounds like he's not going to go, would be my lean. And then Colin Murray Boyles, who got hurt in that Lakers game and didn't return, sounds like he's also not going to go. That would be my lean anyways, is that he doesn't go. We'll have to wait and see. We can look at those games here in a second. But good win for Toronto, 26-19. Warriors, man. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do moving forward. I don't know if they get active on the trade deadline. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? I do not know. I do not know. And then the last game of the night, hashtag Heat Culture gets a W over the aforementioned Kings here. And then it was Bam night, man. Bam, no Khalil Ware, so Bam got to do a little bit more, played 30 minutes. He had sort of good from the field, 8 for 15. Yeah, we'll take it. That's north of 50%. Knocking down 4 triples. He had 25, 7, and 5, couple stocks. And then Storm and Norman gave him 22, 16, 9, and 6 from Pelly Larson. Okay, Pelly. And then Fontecchio played 15. Jaime Jaquez with 33 minutes off the bench. Jovic is his minutes have been dwarfed a little bit. Actually, that's pretty. So I guess because Davion, I'm surprised by these 33 minutes. I don't know if anybody watched this game. I did not. The one thing I did see was a quote from Doug Christie after the game. Let me see if I want to get this right here, but Zach LaVine only played like 22 minutes in this one. Like, look at these starters minutes, man. Precious played 22, Renew played 18, 35 from DDR, 31 from Russ, but 22 from LaVine. LaVine, by the way, was shooting 70% from the field in this game in his 22 minutes. But here's the quote here. Hold on, here's the quote. Where is it? All right, Coach Christie on Zach LaVine's limited playing time in the second half tonight. He said, obviously he shot the ball well, but we didn't have a problem scoring tonight. We needed to stop somebody. Just cooked, man. Just cooked. I don't know what they do tonight. They were on the front end of a back-to-back. Spo hating ass happy where was out. I don't know what they do on the back-to-back. Like, do they get more minutes now because does DeRozan play a little bit less, LaVine play a little bit more? Sabonis still coming off the bench since his return from injury. This was his third game. I think he's played 20 minutes, 19 minutes, and 17 minutes, so he's played less and less each and every game. He did have 6 and 10 with 3 dimes in those 17 minutes, so imagine if he played 30. I don't think I'm playing Sabonis again until he is listed as a starter. That's just me. I think I'm done. I'm done with this bench experience. The Kings suck, man. The Kings, the vibes are bad. Let's poke around at the standings here, and then we'll get into tonight's action. So the Pistons here, still far and away in the lead, but the Raptors draw even. They've played 2 more games than the Knicks, who again play tonight. The Raptors have 1 extra win and 1 extra L, which means they are percentage points behind the Knicks in the 4 seed. The Sixers dropped that game, so they are now even with the Magic in that 5-6 spot, along with the Cavs, who are percentage points behind Sixers and Magic, but both 8.5 back from the Pistons. Cavs play tonight in a fun one we'll talk about in a second. The Heat with their win, 2 games over 500. They're just a game back behind the Cavs. And then the Bulls, look at the Bulls. Winners of 2 in a row, 5-5 in their last 10. They're 1 game under 500. They're in the 9th seed, and then the Atlanta Hawks have a half-game lead over the Cucks, who are in the 11th seed, and then it's Hornets, Nets, Wiz, and Pace. The Spurs dropping a game, Nuggets dropping a game, which means the Rockets, Lakers, and Suns all pick up a game here. So the Nuggets are 1 game back behind the Spurs for the 2 seed, with the Rockets being a game and a half behind the Nuggets. Rockets are also a half game ahead of the Lakers and the Suns. The Suns now, look at the Suns, baby, in the 6th seed. They have the same record as the Timberwolves after the T-Wolves dropped their game, so the Timberwolves move to the 7th seed. And then there you go. The Warriors have a 2.5 game lead over the Blazers, who have 2.5 games over the Clippers, who have percentage points ahead of the Grizzlies. So that's where we're at. If we look at tonight, and again, on Underdog, they got the Dog Bowl. I think we are going to jump into some Dog Bowls. We'll draft some DBs here in a second. We've got 7 basketball games tonight. You want to see something nuts? Actually, let's go look at this. Let me pull this up. I saw just an insane stat from Bill Simmons as we're about to talk about the Hornets. And he sorted top 5 lineups based on net rating, all right? And I was surprised by 2 of them, to be honest, but one of them was insane. Let's pull this up here. All right, here they are. Here are the 3 best lineups based on net rating. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren, J-Dub, and Kaysen Wallace. That makes sense, 25.3, of course. Second, by just a percentage point, a tenth of a point, Miles, that piece of shit Bridges, LaMelo Ball, Moussa Diabate, Brandon Miller, and Con Knipple. That's the second best starting 5. The second best starting 5 based on net rating in the league. And then third, shout out my Beantown boys, go Celtics kid, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Nemi, Pritchard, and Sammy Hauser. How about the Hornets, huh? I don't know if regulators in the chat this morning, but vibes are up in Charlotte here. They're taking on the Cavs. They're 2.5-point dogs. The Cavs are still without Darius Garland, Sammy Merrill, and the Struces lose. The Hornets at home. I don't know. Cavs coming off a beatdown who did they get smoked by? Oklahoma City on MLK Day. So I don't know. That's kind of fun. One thing I'll point out, Hornets play tomorrow. Charlotte has been really weird with LaMelo's minutes on back-to-backs. Sometimes they take him off the bench, and he goes with the second unit so he can be more useful in his limited minutes instead of being with the starters. But it's kind of tough because the last back-to-back, he basically played, I think it was like 22 and 20 minutes or something like that. But one of those games was when they won by like 40 against Denver, right? So maybe his minutes would have been higher. I'm super cautious here. I'm super cautious on the LaMelo minutes. I don't know what to do. I boosted up Miller and Kahn a little bit. And then on the Cavs side, like whatever, it's Donovan, it's Mobley, and then after that it's kind of ugly. The Pacers and Celtics are playing tonight. It feels like they've played each other 400 times. Every single week, it feels like they're playing each other. Celtics are favored by 10.5. Relatively healthy. No Josh Minot, but that's about it. The Pacers are still without Obi and Mathurin. Nothing really to say here. Let's just keep moving. And then you got Nets and the Knicks. I mentioned them. So, man, I'm like tempted to get to some of these Nets here because the Knicks defense has just been dog shit, right? So Michael Porter Jr., maybe you get to some Nick Claxton, especially because Day'Ron Sharpe is questionable. He missed their last game. If he missed, maybe that's a safer floor for Claxton minutes. On New York side, whatever. I'm not drafting OG Anunoby. I'm not drafting Mikal Bridges. I'll draft Brunson when he falls. I'll draft Cat when he falls. I'm not interested. Hawks and Grizzlies. Now, this is a basketball game. This is a fantasy basketball game. So the Grizzlies are favored by 1.5. Whoa. I feel like that flipped. Was that like that this morning? I'm going to reference my Bagel with Locks blog this morning, which if you haven't subscribed, please go subscribe to Bagel with Locks. Let me go check this out. I want to see if that line is shifted here. No, okay, actually it did shift, but towards Atlanta. Yeah, Memphis being favored is kind of, I don't know if I agree with that. Anyways, Ja Morant came back, right? He cooked. He was awesome in 28 minutes. I imagine against the Magic in London. I imagine Ja's only going to play 27 to 29 minutes. I'd be surprised if he got over 30, and he's pretty expensive today for how many minutes he's going to play. But again, fast-paced environment, 239.5 point total. It's probably silly to fade him. But it's just Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. for me. Santi Aldama's questionable in this game. On the Atlanta side of stuff, C.J. McCollum moved to the bench in that last game on Monday against the Bucks. Corey Kispert moved into the starting lineup. He only played like 20 minutes, I believe, Kispert. But so I don't know. Dyson, Onyeka, Jalen Johnson. I mean, Jalen Johnson should do whatever he wants tonight, right? Give me the JJ. Pistons and the Pellies. Some good news for the Pelicans. Herb Jones is questionable after missing. He missed 7 games, played 1, and then is missed 5 in a row. I don't know what's going on with Herbert, but he's questionable. So maybe Herb's back tonight. It seems like there's the buzz coming out of the Pelicans is yeah, we do like Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears, but they're not playing a lick of defense. And we saw their minutes get yanked around a little bit, especially with the return of Sadiq Bey back in action. So I'm a little bit nervous. That those minutes are yoinked, so I'm not messing with them. Matty Harrison saying the Pistons need to take Trey Murphy home with them. Right? That would be an upgrade. For the Pistons, though, Jalen Duren. I mean, listen, I got burned by Duren against the Celtics the other night. Jalen Duren should just go nuts tonight. He should. I'm going to treat him like I treated Ivica Zubac last night, which ended with me poor. So take it with a grain of salt, but really like Duren, obviously Cade. Man, OKC is thin tonight. So they're playing in the Bucks. Are the Thunder and Bucks rivals? You guys see that? The Thunder and Bucks on Rivals Week? When has that been a rival? What are we talking about? Anyways, OKC, right? I talked about this yesterday, but on MLK Day for the Thunder, man. Jalen Williams, the big boy, He went up to, we talked about this. He went up for a dunk. Jared Allen rejected him so hard that he had to leave the game early. He's actually questionable tonight. So Jay Will is questionable. J Dub has already been ruled out. Caruso already ruled out. iHeartRadio already ruled out. So this is a good matchup. They should cook Milwaukee. Milwaukee doesn't play any defense. SGA, yeah, sure, 1,000,000 points. Chet Holmgren. Does he get stretched a little bit, right? These are his minutes in his last 5. 31, 25, 29, 30, 31 and a half. If there's no iHeart and Jay Will, do they stretch him a little bit more? Probably not. He probably only gets to like 32 or whatever. We saw Aaron Wiggins get into the starting lineup for J Dub. They did start double big in that game. I imagine they don't in this one, so maybe we see a starting 5 of A.J. Mitchell, Aaron Wiggins, Chet, SGA, and Lou Dort. That would be my guess if Jay Will is out. If Jay Will is in, maybe they go double big. We might see some more Kenrich Williams. I don't know. For Milwaukee, Doc Rivers put Kevin Porter Jr. on the bench, and then Kevin Porter Jr. immediately is questionable. So I kind of like the idea of KPJ being like, F this. You want to put me on the bench? I'm out of here. And if you know anything about KPJ, he could very well do that. He's questionable. If KPJ is to miss, could be a little bit more Ryan Rollins. Could be a little bit more Ryan Rollins. Other than that, I'm not interested in anybody else besides Giannis and then the Kupo. Rollins is like pretty much locked in for 30 minutes. If KPJ were to miss, I would say it's a little bit more than that. And then the last game of the night, the only two teams on the beaks, the back-to-backs, the Raptors. I mentioned CMB, Chateau Light, Colin Murray Boyles, RJ Barrett, and Jacoby Walter are all questionable. Jakob Turtle Power has already been ruled out. I kind of lean RJ and CMB out, and if that's the case, I want to play everybody else. You know, I want some Scotty Barnes. I want some Brandon Ingram. For the Kings, man, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Do you guys have Kings takes? I don't know what to do with Sacramento. Raptors only being favored by 4.5 with a decent total. I mean, like, we want to get to that game, but I don't know what to do with it. Let's build some ranks. Let's build some ranks, some vibe ranks without projections, and then we'll do some doggy bowls. We'll do some doggy bowls. Let's blow this up a little bit. Maybe we'll do 2 dog bowls, and then we'll get out of here. A fishing show today. Let's move this shit around. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, and then let's get the border in, huh? Can we get the border in? There it is. Okay, all right. Let's build some ranks for tonight. Okay, obviously, I'm just going Shea, Cade, Giannis, Jalen Johnson. I honestly think you can make a case for putting Jalen Johnson up here. I think projections will tell you Giannis is 1 or 2. I am still nervous. Like, look at these minutes. Giannis has played 30 minutes, 33 minutes is the only time he's gone north of 30, 31 minutes, 22, 29. Like, he's probably going to play 30 minutes. I would just rather have SGA and Cade in the spots that they're in. I wouldn't fault you for taking Giannis ahead of him, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go SGA, Cade, Giannis, and then Jalen Johnson. That is how I'm starting. That's how I'm starting. After that, I'm fine with Jaylen Brown next, and then both of the Cavs. I'm not doing anything funky after that. I'm fine with Mobley. I'm going to put Scotty next. I also have been doing a little bit of this, putting Scotty ahead of Mobley. Let's actually do that. Let's put Scotty ahead of Mobley. I also want Brunson ahead of Cat. I don't know. Nick Claxton, pretty good interior defender. I don't really like the vibes of New York. I feel like Brunson should always be ahead of Cat. Maybe that's a mistake there, but I want Brunson ahead of Cat. You could actually talk me into Chet ahead of Cat, too, if you want. I really like Chet tonight. I'm going to go Chet, Michael Porter Jr., then Zion, then Spicy P. You can put Spicy P ahead of Zion, too, if you want. The Detroit defense is no joke, so I'm not, like, super excited about that. I have been kind of fading Ja Morant. But I'm going to put him at ADP for this run, and then I'm going to go Duren and then Onyeka. I like Onyeka, but again, Jalen Duren kind of like the spot that I want to get way ahead of. And then I'm going to go Derek White, Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, and then we'll throw LaMelo in there. We'll throw LaMelo at 21. I was seeing him going even later than that, so that's, pay attention. I'll go Dyson, Triple J, and then I'm going to go Brandon Miller. Let's go Russ, then Brandon Miller, then we're not ranking Sabonis. We're not going to do it. Jared Allen. Jared Allen against Charlotte, sure. And then we're going to go IQ, Nemby. I'm not interested in OG or OG or Mikal Bridges. I do like these guys though. Let's get some Peyton Pritchard. Let's do Con Miles DeRozan. I'm just scared of DeRozan. I do like Claxton. Kevin Porter Jr. I'm gonna draft, and then if KPJ misses, I'm just gonna swap to Ryan Rollins. So I'm kind of interested in KPJ. But let's find some other ones. You could make a case that maybe Levine plays more minutes tonight. I don't know. Nemi's fine. Rollins, I mentioned. Jalen Tyson. Jalen Tyson with no Garland. Like, the minutes have been pretty good, 38, 32. The 38-minute game was when he was absolutely cooking, but not really scared of Charlotte defense. So you could play some Jalen Tyson if you want. We'll throw him on the list. We'll throw Rollins on the list. That's really it. I mean, Hunter's had a beefier role since they've been thinned out. Aaron Wiggins, sure. Santi, if you think he's back, but he's probably only playing, like, I don't know. I don't think I want to get to see. It kind of falls off a cliff here when you get down here. So let's call it there. Let's call it there, and let's jump in a draft or two. Let's do a little dog bowl. Oh, why does it always tell me I'm in developer mode? I'm never in developer mode. I don't know what developer mode is. I don't know how to get into developer mode. I don't know how to get out of it. Oh my God! All right, so we're gonna enter the contest through the telephone. All right, let's go. So this is, all right, we entered. We're waiting for 2 more to start. I'll show you what I've got so far. I've done 6. I'm probably going to do 15 tonight. So first one, we had a little Jaylen Brown, Scotty Barnes. I took LaMelo, Ingram, Nemby, and DeRozan. Then we had a Giannis Brunson start, followed by Duran, Daniels, Miller, and Kahn. This may be my favorite team so far. We had a Jalen Johnson with Scotty Barnes. Spicy P fell. What pick was this? 16. Then Trey Murphy, IQ, and Con. We get another Brown Mobley start with BI, Triple J, Nah, and Nembhard. We had another Giannis Brunson start. This time it was Zion who fell to pick 15. Zion fell a little bit. And then Ingram, Miller. It seems like I'm too high on Ingram. I've got a lot of Ingram. We get another JB Scotty with Duran, White, Nemby, and Claxton. So anyways, let's go. We are starting now. Pick 5 again. Oh, best ball, Viper. Viper with the 101. Hate to see it. What do we know about the Giannis minute restriction? Is he really on it? Yeah, I just went over it. He hasn't played more than 30 minutes. Right? There was the one game he played more than 30. That was against Denver. In a close game. I think if you think the Bucks can hang with OKC tonight, and it's a close game on ESPN, then you can make the case there for. I think you can make the case that Giannis breaks the 30-minute mark, but that you got to really run pure. You need it to be a close game. Who we liking Who we liking on OKC with all the guys out? Yeah, I think I referenced them. If Will is out, I think they're going to start Aaron Wiggins and AJ Mitchell alongside Lou Dort, Chetty Bang Bang, and SGA. That will be their 5, right? And then I think Isaiah Joe will get a little bit more run. You might see some more Kenrich Williams, some Ousmane Dieng in a matchup against Milwaukee. I don't know. I don't know what form. If you're talking about for so rare, you could pump up Jalen Williams. If he goes, I would really like Jalen Williams, honestly. And if he doesn't go, you can go to Kenrich Williams. For underdog, I don't think it's going to matter. All right, I hate picking from the 5 spot, man. We're getting a lot of Jaylen Brown. And it's not fun. I mean, I like Jaylen Brown. I like the upside. Like, these guys are 60-point upsides, I think. Although we've seen JB do it. So we'll get JB, and then we'll take. Let's take Mobley in this next one. We'll take Mobley, assuming that Barnes isn't there. I mean, assuming that Mitchell and. Yeah, we'll go Mobley or Scotty here. We're not taking Cat. I'll tell you that. Didn't you thought already qualify? Did he just qualify? I think for LA. He's trying to get his second seat. Selfish. That's selfish. That's sick, actually. But man, yeah, I feel like I'm getting a lot of this. I'm getting a lot of Toronto. Okay, all right. So he took Scotty at 7. So we'll start with JB and Mobley there. Let's see. Okay, hold on one second. All right, let's go. All right, we're sorry we had to respond to a notification there. Man, yeah, I need to get some SGA though. We haven't had a shot at a 101 yet in our in our drafts this morning. And I do feel like SGA could go absolutely nuts today. The thinned out team plus the Bucks defense, man. Recipe for success. Best ball Viper milking the clock, bro. Let's see what Viper does. Still in good shape in best ball too. I think we just checked that yesterday, so we won't go nuts looking at it, but still in good shape. Really need Jokic to return. I can't stress how cold it is in New York right now. Like, I'm feeling it through the walls. Whoo, baby. And yeah, just a reminder, there's a chance we don't have a show tomorrow. Well, we'll have something. It just might be in the afternoon. We have a Splash Sports contest for tonight, too, if you want to dabble. We got a little $10. Is AJ, I don't know. What's AJ Mitchell's cap, DJP? I like AJ Mitchell more if Jalen Williams is out. I want to guarantee he's a starter. All right, let's see. What do we have? Anybody doing anything weird? No, Michael Porter Jr. goes 15. Jod 14. Wow, Dern at 13. All right, best ball Viper. Sam Olson, he's sharp. He got Cat. So he went JJ and then Cat. And then Onyeka. All right, so wow, Onyeka ahead of Zion. People are scared of the matchup. Makes sense. We'll take Zion, though, at pick 17. We're okay with that fallen knife. Yeah, what's his cap? I mean, I do like AJ. What did he do in that last game here? So he played 25 minutes. I mean, I think you could get him north of 25. I don't really, man, are we really taking Trey Murphy here? I think we're going to take Dyson Daniels. We're going to get a little funky. I don't want 2 Pelicans from this game. I don't think I want 2 Pelicans. We're going to push up Dyson Daniels. I'm a Dyson believer. All right, these are actually moving too slow, so I think we're just gonna do one, and then we'll wrap here. We'll have an efficient show tonight, this morning, I mean. And then I need to like put on more clothes, man. I'm cold. I don't really love any of the games tonight. I mean, I guess Bucks. What's the other ESPN game? No, Cavs and Hornets. That'll actually be a fun game. That 7 p.m. game will be fun. Cavs and Hornets will be a good time. But man, I feel like the OKC Bucks game will be over before it starts, you know? Yeah, this is taking way too long. Everybody's asleep at the wheel here. Russ at pick 23. All right, so yeah, Sam has Jaren Jackson Jr. ahead of Trey Murphy too. So Sam is pretty out on the Pelicans, which I guess makes sense. The Pistons defense is legit. All right. What should I have for dinner tonight, guys? I gotta go to the grocery store here after this. What do you guys think? Any dinner recs? I need something warm. Do a little jambalaya, maybe. A little jumpy. Pistons defense plus blowout potential. Yeah, that's true. I feel like those Pelicans guys are going to play 30 minutes regardless of the score, though. I feel like even in I should go dig into that because I feel like even in blowouts they've been playing 30 plus. All right, I won't. If Jared Allen's there, I don't really want Allen and Mobley together. We might go back to the Emmanuel Quickly and then we'll be pissed if RJ Barrett's ruled in, but I don't know if we'll have that information in time. Oh, IQ's gone. All right, screw it. You know what we'll do? We'll take Jared Allen, and then we'll take one of Con or Miles Bridges with this next pick. Miles Bridges, Gate Kabapi, and Kajmak. Sure. All right. Yeah, I'm sure they have that. But yeah, I'm pretty intrigued by Con more so than Miles Bridges. I know Miles Bridges is going to project better, but Bridges seems to have been affected by the return of some of these bigs. We haven't seen that ceiling as much. Again, I would be open to DeRozan and Claxton as well, but I really like the idea of a little 2-1, a little 2-1 stack. Maybe we see Cleveland go to OT against Charlotte, you know? All right, well, this is it. Last pick. We're going to get Con Knipple. So this is the team that's taking us to LA. We got Jaylen Brown. We got Evan Mobley. We got Zion Williamson. We reached for Dyson Daniels. We got J.A. Allen, Jared Allen, and Connie Knipple. Let me know if you guys are doing those drafts today. Let me know how you guys do. Double burger with cheese fries. All right, that sounds good too. I hope you guys have a good day. Stay warm if you're in the Northeast or wherever you are. I hope everybody just stays warm. And we'll be back here most likely tomorrow morning, but if it's not in the morning, it'll be in the afternoon. Just stay tuned for announcements. Go check out Bagel with Locke. See you in the Splash Sports lobbies. We're back tomorrow. We out.